Hi Gisele, my name's Daphne. I'm one of the essay correctors here at IELTSpodcast.com. Thank you so much for sending in your essay for some feedback, for correction. Great to read it here. So some people who have been in prison become good citizens later, and it's often argued these are the best people to talk to teenagers about the dangers of committing a crime. This word, the best, is really important. So the best people to talk to teenagers about the dangers of committing a crime, to what extent you agree or disagree. Okay, let's have a look. It is said that former prisoners who regretted that, are good examples for adolescents to keep away from a crime life, for they can share their own experience after being arrested. Now, is this your introduction? So we need to organize this essay. Okay, so we recommend 4 clear sections, okay? So that would be your introduction. Although your opinion, where it says to what extent do you agree, your opinion should be in the introduction. So I tell you what, let's just put this in here. Oopsie. Sorry. Okay, let's just move that up to there, because you need to have your opinion into that intro. Then I'm going to make a break there, and let's just get back into this. It is said that former prisoners who regret their actions are good examples for adolescents to keep away from a life of crime. Okay, former prisoners. Now, it's not any former prisoner, it's just the best, okay? That the most transformed, you could use that word, former prisoners, comma, who regret, so we want this word here, regret their actions, comma, are good examples for adolescents to keep them away, so this is the adolescents, away from a life of crime. We say a life of crime, not a crime life. Yeah, okay. Okay, for they can share their own experiences after being arrested, not being after being arrested, because they've been arrested, more like after being released. Yeah, their own valuable experiences after being released. Okay, I would say I agree. I would say I agree is too casual. Okay, you either, to what extent is I strongly agree or I strongly disagree with this statement. And then you need to give me a little, because you need to give me a bit more here. Because you are paraphrasing, that's fine. Oh, sorry. Switch that off. You are paraphrasing, okay, but you're not giving me any extra. You've got to give me a little reason. Why do you agree? I know you'll get into it here, but I need a bit more in the intro. So that makes a sort of stronger introduction. You're bringing the examiner with you into the essay. So indeed, you don't need this, too kind of informal. So a person who has already spent some time in prison has got a view of how bad being convicted can be. Okay, so a prisoner, it's not really a person, is it? So a former criminal, let's get into the vocab. So you need to show great vocab for IELTS. A former criminal, comma, who has already spent time in prison has got a view, has understood, has appreciated or can appreciate how bad, so these are not formal enough words, how serious a conviction can be and how radically a life can be changed. Okay, so we're getting in some nice vocab in here and some passive verbs in here. You don't need that. Okay, I believe that having such a person lecture in schools about what they've been through is actually positive. Okay, good. Since it paints a good picture for teenagers to understand what the consequences of the actions could be. Okay, all right, so let's pause there. Rather than I believe that, because I don't want your opinion anymore, okay? You've given me your opinion here, that's fine. I don't want any more opinion until the concluding paragraph. This is all to do with the organisation of the essay. And this is something that Ben goes through very carefully on the course. Okay, 12 sentences, how to write an essay. It's absolutely brilliant. So experts agree that, or many teachers and parents agree that. So something like this, introduce your sentence in a more formal way. Having a person lecture in schools about what they have been through, present perfect here, is actually positive, since it paints a good picture for teenagers to understand what the consequences of their actions could be. Okay, nice, well done. Take Eminem for example. No, just more formal. For example, Eminem, and you need to say who he is, the American rapper or rap music artist. Went to prison when young for problems with drugs and violence. Still, he got out, changed his thoughts and shared his problems. Okay, this is all too informal, this style. Okay? So, for example, Eminem, the rap singer, was imprisoned, you could have, when young. When young, for drug-related issues, or whatever, drug and violence issues, okay? And once released, so keep this going in a nice complex sentence. Once released, let's go into this, fully reformed, so he was totally different, fully reformed, became a role model. You've got this in a minute, okay? So if you see the formality of this, he was imprisoned, passive, when young, for drug-related issues. Once released, became a role model. Okay, once fully reformed. Okay, so this is too informal for me. Now he is this great and famous rap singer. Okay, again, too chatty. Yeah, this is academic style writing. It is very different. You must be very careful on this. This could be one of the reasons why you weren't scoring what you want before. Okay, a role model, and then go into this. That's lovely. So bring that up to here. Okay? So then that works as a really nice sentence. You can see, I hope, how that is better. Rommel succeeding his career, okay? So that would go. Seeing such an icon as him might bring youth close. Okay, so appreciating his how he has changed, and seeing an icon such as him might bring youth closer to the message that's staying out of trouble. Absolutely. A best way to go, okay, is the right path, maybe, in terms of what is right for an individual society. Good, nice example. I like how you're using a real example, but make sure you're setting it in the formal context that is needed, okay? In addition, having been to prison is a big burden to bear, okay? Not big, like an enormous, a challenging, difficult, if you have to, but challenging is better. People change, not people. So former prisoners, former convicts, former criminals. Go back to the vocab. So some, not all of them. Remember, go back to the question. The best people, some are totally reformed. Some go straight back to prison. Yeah, so some people, some former inmates, we call them, they were in prison, are able to change the way they act and think. Not relevant. Not relevant. Okay, so you don't need that. You're telling me they may change. Okay, some may change, but they'll carry their past along with them. The most successfully reformed could be suitable to talk to teenagers, although others may still struggle to reintegrate, we want this word, into society. reintegrate into society, as many companies will not hire them. As alternatives to hearing a prisoner speak, schools could also offer further education. Now I'm adding this in. Okay, I'm adding this in because, get back to the question. So, yes, I like this idea about a life of crime, avoiding a life of crime. I think that's good. Okay, but let's just come back into this question here. So I've put the most successfully reformed could be good. Okay, but there is an alternative. Schools could also do other things. So, yeah, some people suggest they become good citizens and they're the best people. To what extent do you agree or disagree? It's important, if you want a good band score, to say, there are other alternatives. Doesn't have to be ex-prisoners. Yeah, you could just offer more lessons, that sort of thing. I like this bit. That's fine there. Good. So again, your opinion in here, in my opinion. So on the opinion essays, we want your opinion at the beginning, at the end. There's no better person to explain. Okay. In selecting the best or the most reformed, we've really got to get into this, the most converted prisoners. I have to kind of keep pushing this, the most, because that is the most important word in that sentence. Okay, there's no better to explain. Yeah, very nice conclusion. Well done there. Brilliant. Okay. So Gisele, let me just, sorry, this is a bit long, sum this up for you. Okay. Organisation, I think, is an issue. I want clear paragraphs. I want to know exactly where you're going in each paragraph. Your level of your writing needs to be more formal. So this thing, take this for example, he went to prison too relaxed. Okay, this connects to vocab. So we want to have a really strong range of vocabulary to show the examiner what a good writer you are. Okay, and we also need to bring in some good grammar. So your grammar's okay, but we need something kind of wow, some conditionals, some really complex sentences, something a bit special in there. Okay, you've got a lot of present tense. We want a little bit more variety in the tenses. Okay, Ben talks you through all these things on the course. I think that would be really useful for you to have as much practice as you possibly can. Okay, lots of practice, and that will really, really help you move forward in your IELTS preparation. Thank you very much. Well done.